Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. About 2 years ago, we talked together, and I was laughing so much. I don't know you remember.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so um, I do yoga practices, and I've been following Sadhguru
Yeah.
yoga, and there's a practice called Shambhava Mudra and Surya Kriya, and these are the system purifiers, and it's just so beautiful. And these practices started cleaning the system, and I started to be able to just look at the watch, for example, and I just go to, when I say Sahasrar, I mean the seventh chakra. I mean the crown chakra. So I used to, I mean, now even it's like that. So when I just look at the watch and I just bring my system to intense activity or intensity, suddenly the seventh chakra, it just activates and everything just becomes like light. And it's just so beautiful. Like, I don't know, it's just like everything is just like a game. And I can just go from here to there in just 1 second. I mean, it's just so beautiful. So then after a while, I come back down to the lower chakras, and then I'm just thinking, what's the point of all this? For what?
Oh, you expect me to have an answer now? Well, but what in what in what way are you asking me that when you say what is the point? Like, what do you mean? What is the point? Like, what in what way do you mean? What is the point? I mean, what's the point to getting up in the morning? What's the point to the sun rising? What's the point to talking or to eating?
Exactly.
Like what? So in why you like why do
You
you
know,
point that
you know
out
what?
more?
Okay, it is like this. Like when the life was normal, I felt so beautiful and everything was fine. But then I realized there is an inner world. Before that, I didn't know that. I thought that this is it. Like this table and this chair and this people and this is it. Then I realized there is exactly the same kind of, like, I can touch the table.
Yeah.
I can even touch the chakras at will at any time I want. There is exactly the same world like this, which is here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And each one of them, there's a world by itself. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, now I got this. And I guess they call it cities or something like that, like power or something like that. I'm just thinking, what's the point? I mean, like, for what? You know why? What I mean about this? I mean that we spend so much time purifying our system to get access to these energies and to be able to use them at will. For example, what I mean is that we use the yoga practices to be able to purify the system so that the energy can move freely anytime it wants. So I'm just thinking that, uh, and also I had another experience. I'm sorry, I just want to tell you this because it's very important. So this experience was a samadhi. I think it's called samadhi when the intellect becomes one pointed. So that's what I mean about Sahasra. So beside that, I I started experiencing this I am. And I realized that this thing is lower than I am. It means that I am is higher. I am is a vaster space compared to even this ecstasy. Even this ecstasy is happening in I am. So So this ecstasy also is a cloud. I realized it. Okay, so even how beautiful it is, and the ecstasy is dripping from the middle of my head to all the system, it is still phenomenal, and it is still a cloud, and it will pass. I'm just wondering, what's the point of it? What's the point of it?
I don't know. I don't know what you're asking me. What's the point of the sun shining?
Yeah, that's my question.
But how can you ask me that and not say what's the point of the room? Like, why do you get stuck on that and think what's the point to that? And why do you not? Why do you? I mean, what's the point to anything? Why getting stuck on the spiritual practices? Because you thought they had points.
Ecstatic.
So you thought they were above daily living?
Because in those states, tears just flow for no reason. It just flows, and it's just like it just flows. And when I listen to a song, any song in the ecstatic feelings, I just feel the bliss body, Anandamaya Kosha.
Yeah.
I feel the Anandamaya Kosha completely. It's like just this body, just like this body is Anandamaya Kosha.
Yeah.
That's why I'm stuck. I'm not stuck. It's just so beautiful. I want to go there again and again every day. So, yeah.
So the point to it is it makes you feel good.
Yes.
So that's the point to it. Just like the point of eating and the point of is that you like it. Which is absolutely relevant, and you're absolutely allowed to like something, and so therefore because you like it you'll keep doing it. The thing is I think that you're beginning to think, does that lead me somewhere higher, or does that, and there's like sneaky thinking that's coming in and saying that the spiritual practice is above doing my accounts or shopping, but then your mind is also not sure about that. And I think that the spiritual practices that you do are beneficial, as in it makes your body more balanced. Like when you do them, it's like a cleaning out. It's like doing a detox, like a juicing detox or something. It cleans out your system and makes it more balanced. And that's really beneficial because when the person's more balanced, then it's way easier to hear something beyond that, which is the I am, which is more absolute level, that you aren't anything. So it's not that those states will lead you anywhere. They won't lead you everywhere. You're never going to stay in samadhi. It's beautiful, it's blissful, it's an experience that comes and goes. But I think it's beneficial for the body, and it's healthy for the body. I mean, it's way healthier than being hours or most of the day in stress. That's so good for the system and so healthy for the body mind. And as you become more clear, then you see that you are this presence in which all of that life arises in, and ultimately nothing has more point than anything, because everything's a circular motion. Like you can never make yourself stay in samadhi, and you actually don't want to, otherwise you would. Like you'll notice that there's times where your body and your system's had enough. It's too much.
Yes, they have to rest.
Yeah, it's too much. You'll realize that actually just having a cup of tea you just like to have a cup of tea simply. And you know, like, or just chat or laugh with friends, and then doing it again is really nice. But like everything, like having an orgasm or any of these very pleasurable experiences, you don't want it all the time. Actually, you don't want these high pleasures all the time. But I think it's super healthy to do that and to have these experiences, and super balancing for the chakra system, for the body, for the energies that you're taking in from the Wi-Fi, from the internet, from the electricity, from other people. It's like rebalancing the system. But you'll never get to stay in that. You can try as much as you like, but you'll never stay there permanently. And then you see actually the freedom is just an absolute intimacy with all the experiences, and that all of the experiences are part of life. You cannot have bliss without sadness. You can't have bliss without the opposite. This is the life, this is the creation of opposites, and that's the way it works. You're born, you die. It's night and day. You love, you hate. You're joyful, you're angry. If you cannot have ugliness, you cannot have beauty. If you cannot have birth, you cannot have death. And ultimately, there's none of these things in this instant, but in the apparent world, it's the world of duality. The apparent world is the world of duality, and ultimately, it's not duality, it's non-duality. But it appears as opposites, otherwise consciousness could not experience itself. It's magical. But this is beautiful that you've been doing all these practices and having these experiences. That's really lovely. That's really, healthy for you and good for you. It's a good way to spend time. Most people just take drink or drugs in the evening to try and get out of themselves or try to relax. So the fact that you can do it through meditation or through a practice is really good for you.
But this is not, these experiences like samadhi, these are just
experiences.
Yeah.
But they are helpful for clearing the human, cleaning the human, for clearing up the human, so that the other possibility can be seen beyond them.
Yeah.
And I think all teachers would say that. Like a lot of the teachers would say that. It's just, even Satguru, I'm sure, would say eventually that that's just an experience. But he has to encourage people to do it because it takes a lot of effort to practice these things.
Yeah. I used to do the practices, and when about 1 month ago I started having this experience that I realized I can go there anytime I wish. This is what I realized. It's just like mathematics. Just like mathematics. You do this and then you add this +5 +6, then you're there. That's the beauty of it. And when I realized it, I started doing my yoga practices. Then I realized all the yoga practices' goal is to just open up this possibility. Because in the yoga practice that I did it about 1 month ago, when this thing happened to me, I started realizing whatever I'm doing, the butterfly or the Kundalini yoga or anything I was doing was still, the experience was still like I'm doing nothing. When this was activated, it's like I'm doing nothing. I'm already there. It's like I'm already there. So I realized, then what's the point of yoga? Then I realized, actually, because my system is clean, that's why I can easily experience this.
Yeah.
If my system was not clean, I was not able to experience it. So yoga is just a tool to clean it up.
Yeah.
I should not just put it away, because that is the reason I'm here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to share this.
That's beautiful. I'm happy to hear.
So is it? Yeah. I don't know what to say.
The chakra part is confusing because the chakra openings and those experiences and the Kundalini awakening is confusing, but it's ultimately an experience. But getting to know them better and and understanding them and working with them is part of what seems to happen on the human level.
Yes.
If you're really tight and contracted in all your chakra areas, there is no way that there can be an opening to non-duality, because the energy is so focused in seeking to get away from dread or fear or all these tight energies that happen in the body, these uncomfortable places.
Yes. I want to ask about the non-duality.
Yeah.
That is it. I'm sure that non-duality is higher than here. I mean, can we show it? Can we show it about the energy system, or is it beyond showing?
It's beyond showing. It's what makes the whole energy system. It's what makes everything. It's in every experience. It never moves. It's totally empty and it's everywhere. So non-duality is the ultimate. This is in the human realm, the chakras. This is what comes into manifestation. You cannot be enlightened as a human, but you can be very balanced as a human. And as that human becomes more balanced and more see-through and more clear, then there's the seeing that you were never any of this world, and yet you are all of it. Like in every experience, there is presence. Whether you're in samadhi or whether you're in hell, this is who you truly are. It's not those chakra systems that listen to my voice or see the room. They are part of the way the body is experiencing. They may be even prior to the body, but prior to them, I don't know exactly how that works, but prior to them is presence. And your chakras may become unbalanced again. You can't rely on them. You know, you get a shock, you go into a traumatic system now, and it might really activate one, and then you'd have to do yoga again to balance it.
Yeah. I had, you know, Papaji. Do you know Papaji?
Yeah.
I started listening to his videos, and Nisargadatta
Maharaj, yeah.
Yeah. He says that just to stay as I am, and I started being that, and I realized that. Is it that when I say I am, when I say I am, it shifts the system to the presence?
More than likely. I think it's different for everyone, so I can't give you a guaranteed answer as to how that works. But when I used to do the practice,
Yeah.
it was almost like for a second there was an intimacy with everything, and then I was back to myself again.
Yeah.
It's basically the true enlightenment is merging with everything. So it's like the hearing and the heard become the same. Like there's a merging with this instant.
Is it good to practice that, which I keep saying to myself, I am? Because when I say that, I shift out from the personality.
Yeah.
And it is like my voice and this monitor becomes one.
Yeah. I think if that's what resonates for you, because that won't resonate for everybody, but if that resonates for you, then I think that's an important thing to follow. Like what resonates for you. So if you feel a resonance with the word I am, then that's a wise direction to go down. But just know that at the end of the day, that one that's doing that practice is being experienced and appearing in the I am. It's kind of a contradiction. So even though it says it, that person that says it is appearing inside that I am. That I am is there regardless. It's beautiful. But if you find that resonates in the personal level, then that's really wise to recognize that. The I am was always my way. I was never into like putting your attention in the consciousness. That felt too dry for me or too dead. The I am is alive. Like I am. It's intimate.
And
That's love.
what about who am I?
I was never
What's
into that too, but if that resonates to someone. And basically, I think the practice is that you say, "Who am I?" and eventually the mind just cannot repetitively get to anything, and so it sort of collapses something. So again, if that resonates, then that's wise to follow that. But again, all of that practice is happening in that freedom that's inherently here. So practice, we think that we practice, but really there's never practicing happening. There's life happening, and there's a following, the humans following something. And the freedom is always in everything that ever happens. And there's not really somebody that practices, because if you ask that question, who are you, is who is this person that practices? Who's listening to my voice now is prior to the person. The person is a functioning, appearing in this dream. It's a thought and an energy appearing, but what remains always is I am, is presence. It's always presence. The time, you, your life, your history, everything is appearing in this presence. Your choices, your idea, I'm going to practice the I am, so there comes this thought that comes up again and again to practice the I am, and that's something that comes and goes. That's not a solid you. That's being experienced by who you really are. That one that's practicing it isn't a solid entity. But that doesn't mean that that person doesn't practice stuff, because I noticed if people get into the idea that I don't need to do anything, then the person kind of goes crazy. That the person for sure needs to balance, because it's come so out of balance by believing that it is someone and it's controlling this life. Nice. Maybe I move on to someone else now, but thank you so much for calling in. It's nice to speak to you again. I vaguely remember your laugh before.
Yeah. I,
Nice.
thank you.
Bye.